What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm still coming at you from the Minooka, Illinois terminal. Just got proposed a load that drops off tomorrow at 0900. 38 miles away that has been dropped on the yard. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of going them short distances, even though I know I'm taking one for the team, but I'm kind of in relax mode, so that gives me another chance to spend a little bit more time relaxing. And it's not a drop and hook, so I got to keep I'll get to keep the new trailer that I'm picking up off the yard. So, not too upset with it, but I'd rather had a real load out of here. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So I always have people asking, or commenting on when I talk about these little truck stops I like going to, or off-brand truck stops. And what I want to talk about is some of the things you need to be careful about when you're stopping at some of these off-brand truck stops. Before I get into that, has anybody noticed, or is it just me, and I'm not sure if my mind's playing tricks on me or not, but I got coffee at TA 2 mornings in a row, and it wasn't bad. I don't know if they changed up their coffee, or maybe I just wanted it that bad or something like that, but normally TA coffee tastes like coffee filters to me. And I'm not in there like, some of these hippies, like, my last student, Landshark Transportation. He's not doing videos anymore, but you might know him as Landshark Transportation. He might get 8 ounces of coffee and put 14 ounces of cream and all that different kind of stuff in it. Some real hippie shit, but I'd take mine black, and I'm telling you that this TA coffee, I'm going to try it one more time to see if they got a new coffee source or something like that, but I've definitely noticed a difference the last 2 times I went there. But like I said, mine could be playing tricks on me. Now back to what I was talking about, things to think about when you're stopping at some of these off-brand truck stops. Now off-brand truck stops, they could be some of the best places in the world, and they could be some of the worst places in the world. We're just going to talk about the reasons why you may not want to go to some of these. A lot of these smaller truck stops or off-brand truck stops I'm talking about, a lot of them have dirt lots. And in the winter, or if it's raining, you could end up getting stuck on them dirt lots. So you always have to be conscious of that when you're parking. Some of these places, if they're really obscure, and there's a couple that I stop at that are really obscure, that really nobody stops at. I haven't had fuel stolen out of these places, but I could just assume that the chances of getting your fuel stolen at some of these off-brand truck stops, definitely going to be a higher likelihood. Some other things to think about when you're going to some of these little places is a lot of them aren't going to be open 24 hours a day. So if you want to, sometimes you got to get up early in the morning. I don't keep coffee on the truck or anything like that. I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to that. If you want to get coffee in the morning, sometimes they aren't going to have that. If you need to use the restroom in the morning, sometimes they're not going to have that. So those are some things to consider as well. Also, if they do have any, one thing that you're going to miss a lot of times at some of these places, and I'm talking about some of the real hole-in-the-wall places that may just be for parking, but your food options as far as hot food, you're typically, not typically, in a lot of these places you're not going to have any restaurant type stuff available. You may just have to pick from, you might even be lucky if they have some hot dogs going or something like that. So, even some of these places that aren't going to be dirt lots or something like that, if snow's going to be coming through, you have a higher likelihood of getting trapped there, because the first thing that they're going to be doing in the morning isn't going to be worried about, shoveling the snow off or anything like that. So those are just some of the reasons why you may not want to go to some of these smaller truck stops out there. So that is about it. Trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head as to reasons why. Now, that being said, you know, summer's a little bit better, but if there's, well, some of these truck stops are really bad, you know, just for parking and things like that. We're going to start talking about some of the better off-brand truck stops. But usually if there's an off-brand truck stop and it's close to Love's or Flying J or something like that, I'm usually going to pick that off-brand truck stop. You know, sometimes you can't, another thing, sometimes you may not feel as safe at some of these smaller truck stops. I mean, I've been at some of these smaller truck stops. As a matter of fact, I think the last one I spent over Thanksgiving somewhere in Oklahoma, I was the only truck that was there. Now, they had some other trucks that were parked there that might have been some local drivers or stuff like that, but sometimes when you're in an area all by yourself, you start hearing all kinds of noises. So, you know, that's something to take into consideration as well. But that's about it. Just wanted to bounce on here. Truck should be coming in pretty soon. I'm assuming it's going to be sometime within the next couple weeks. Hey, before I get into that, shout out to my driver, Myra. Now, this is somebody, and it's going to pay off for her. You know, when you find somebody that's down with you and down to ride with you, you know, you got to take care of them as much as you can. And I think it's the fact that I've done everything I can to take care of Myra, that when things aren't necessarily going right, she's like trying to take care of me. And what I'm talking about is, you know, she just got some bad def and was down a little bit, had to go to a dealership and get an Uber and hotel rooms and all that kind of stuff. And I keep asking her for, you know, how much it is so I could add it to her bonuses and all this kind of stuff. And she's like literally trying to not have me pay for that. Now, I'm going to pay for it either way, but it's, what that says to me is that I'm doing the things right to build the loyalty that I want from somebody that's driving for me. So I really appreciate that. She's going to get paid out on it either way. If I have to estimate how much an Uber is, maybe she's smart. Maybe she knows, you know what, maybe if I don't send him these numbers, he's going to even send me more than it would have been. I'm just joking. She's not thinking about it like that. But just had to throw that out there. That kind of loyalty right there is actually touching. So I'm going to get back off here since I have a chance to relax a little bit more. I'm going to come back here, take another nap, and we'll go from there. As always, I appreciate you guys stopping by. No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.